How you doing, folks? Gus One Bear. Now today I'm going to make a fun video on one of my favorite places to go visit, and that is Fisheating Creek up in Palmdale, Florida. Now there is a difference between camping on the campground and wilderness camping. Alright guys, finally got the boat loaded up. What you think? Pretty cool, huh?
A lot of stuff.
It's a floating station wagon. What you think?
I think we still have to get in it.
If you really want to be adventurous and pack up your canoe and go out for a few days out in the wilderness on Fisheating Creek, folks, it is an experience like none other. So I'm going to show you what it's all about, what you need, some tips on your next outing when you decide to load up your canoe and take it out and venture into the wilderness. So stay tuned. And you're watching Two Bears Outdoors. Alright, let's start with the obvious. To wilderness camp at Fisheating Creek, you're going to need a canoe. Now, we got to strategically set up the canoe. Heavier stuff goes on the bottom, that way it doesn't make the canoe top heavy. You need to know the area. Fisheating Creek goes from east to west. Water level rises immensely throughout the rainy season, and then it starts to drop very quickly. It's not a spring-fed creek. The water that it collects is from the rain. The creek feeds into Lake Okeechobee. So west, you're going up creek. If you're going east, you're going down creek. Okay, a lot has to do with the current. You need to know how to maneuver your canoe. You have to know how to paddle and paddle efficiently. It's very easy to tip your canoe and run the risk of losing all your belongings. So learning how to maneuver your boat in the current is very important. So the best time to go out there is November, December, and January. And that's if you're going to take full advantage of the creek. I've noticed since Hurricane Irma, there's a lot of fallen trees. Fisheating Creek has taken a hard hit. The cliffs you're going to be seeing is right after Hurricane Irma. You're familiar with it? This is the entrance. Water is deep. At least 3 to 4 feet of water. Look at that. As you can see, the campground took a hard hit. It got flooded real bad. The creek looked like a raging river. Today, you have to be very vigilant because when the water starts dropping low, there's a lot of sunken trees, a lot of stumps that can easily get caught on the bottom of your boat and tip you right over. What are you going to expect when you go wilderness camping? The first thing you have to understand, there's going to be hard work. There are certain times of the year where the water is low enough where you're not going to be able to paddle through. One, two, three, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. We're good. All right, so what do you think? This is your idea of fun?
We went from a whole lot of water to big long areas of hardly any water, so it's been difficult. This is a pretty heavy boat. There's a lot of stuff. All
right, so let me give you some tips. First thing is, you need to find a campsite. Once you found your campsite, instead of doing anything, make sure that you bring some firewood with you. The reason for that, fire is the very most important thing you're going to need on the campsite. So you want to get to your site, and before doing anything, you get your wood, get your fire going nice and hot. So I suggest you bring some firewood along. It's going to make your boat a little heavier, but it's going to be far worth you doing that than to get to camp and then looking around for firewood, wasting time when you could be setting up your camp. Second tip, make sure you have a way to make fire. Matches, I wouldn't suggest. Bring a handful of lighters, because you know lighters could go bad, so don't rely on just that one lighter. Bring several. Third, to create fire, you need wood, you need oxygen, you need all the elements. So what do? You go out and you gather firewood. One tip that I like to give you, gut out everything out of my canoe, and I use my canoe as a way of transporting all the firewood to camp. But you're gonna need something to cut with. Machete, you need cutting tools. Now I'm going to walk around some more, see if I can scout around for wood. Of course, I don't want to spend all day chopping away. It gets really tiring. For those of you who have chopped wood, you know that it's not easy. Granted, some of the woods that I'm cutting are not completely solid. I like to find very dense wood. That's what actually burns well. The paper thin stuff are good to just kind of get the fire going. But definitely what I look for are solid pieces. I don't cut any live wood, just dead trees and fallen branches, stuff like that. I'm one of those that believes that you're better off taking it and not needing it than needing it and not having it. Trekking out in the woods, you drop your knife, you lose it, you could drop it in the creek, you're gonna need a backup. So I hope you enjoyed this segment. This is Gus One Bear. You can check us out at www.swampseeker.com. And this is Two Bears Outdoors. See you all later. Bye.